Hey YouTube, Idahosa and Mike back at
Yo.
you. MimicMethod.com, learn a foreign language by ear. Right now, Mike is learning Italian by ear. This is our first update video with him. He's been learning for about a week now, right?
Right.
So in this video, we're gonna just quickly go over what Mike can do now, what his new skills are, what it was like for him to go through the process, what he did, how he felt about it. So my first question to you, Mike, is before you started this mission, describe what was your ability in Italian?
Before I started this mission, I had virtually no experience with Italian.
Mm-hmm.
I could understand, careful now,
Go ahead.
some of the basics of Italian language, but I didn't know how to say anything or really understand it.
Sure. But I will say, Mike's been with the company for a while and he's been exposed to all of our techniques and he's helped us develop a lot of these kind of systems for pronunciation. So I was very impressed by your progress in Italian so far. Like, you learned way faster than I expected the pronunciation aspect, but it makes sense because you're already familiar with these concepts, and I think by osmosis your ear is like kind of really trained to things. So would you agree with that?
Yeah, okay, so there is a little bias. I have some exposure to wanting to understand the sound systems of languages because of being with MimicMethod, but it wasn't anything like amazing. It was just kind of like, oh, I need to do the phonology. It just made sense for me to do it.
Sure.
So it was a little easier to get through that.
All right, so that being said, with this week of work you've been doing so far, what are you capable of doing right now?
So far we just went through the elemental sounds of Italian and a couple of things with syllables and words. I'm able to mimic sentences in Italian, and through the memorizing process of doing that and breaking it down, I'm able to say a couple of things and sentences in Italian, like mimic them.
Cool.
That's
And
about
from
it.
what I understand, I heard you singing it earlier, you have a little bit of your first Italian song memorized.
Yeah, a little bit of it.
Can you give us a rendition?
Okay, the song is, I don't even remember what the name of the guy is who sings it, but there's like 4 lines in the song, and it goes like this. It goes, La prima volta che sono morto.
No. I want you to sing it. Don't say it. I want you to sing it. Use your heart. Come from the heart.
Oh, God.
Come on.
La prima
Mike
volta
has
che
the voice
sono
of an
morto.
angel. All right, see, you hear that?
There you
All
go.
right,
And that was like one sentence.
No. Do the whole thing. Like,
La prima volta che sono morto, non me ne sono nemmeno accorto. Ero distratta solo un secondo. I'm trying to say it, but it's hard to sing it, man.
all right, we're gonna do this right.
Because singing it really...
So if you guys watched our last video, Mike's
a
an
lot.
introverted language learner, and I'm leaving Portugal soon, so I won't be around to like coach him through these things, but this is good practice for you. You'll have millions of people watching this video one day, maybe.
Yes.
I want you to like imagine you're on stage at the opera house in Milan, and you're singing this song full from your heart.
Other language learners, just to let you know, this is not the kind of pressure you want to put yourself through in the very beginning of learning a language, but
Unless you work for MimicMethod.com.
unless you have to be doing this with MimicMethod.com.
All right, so it's here. So you sound pretty good Italian-wise, but put some melody, put some heart. I want to cry at the end of this. Let's go.
You will cry. All right. La prima volta che sono morto, non me ne sono nemmeno accorto. Mi ero distratto solo un secondo. L'attimo dopo ero là sepolto. And that's it. That's the first 4 lines of the
Bravo!
song.
Ay, Mamma di Vinci, Miguelito.
Wow.
All right, cool,
all right.
Michelangelo. So thank you. I hope you guys, if you enjoyed Mike sing, you can check out his new album
I have
coming
a new
out called La
channel.
Prima Volta. No.
That's off the new EP coming out in 7 years from now.
All right, great. So, all right, cool. So Mike can sing the song now. It sounds pretty good to me. I don't know any Italian, but I'm kind of passively learning a bit just to help coach him through this. So, could you explain to the viewers here what exactly did you do this past week in order for you to have this new ability? So once again, I understand you don't know what this guy's saying, right?
Yeah, I have no idea what any of it means yet.
All right, right. So you're just doing this for the capacity to hear and pronounce the sounds of Italian?
Yes.
So what did you do to develop this capacity this past week?
Right, so just starting with the basic sounds and the syllables, I took it and kind of compiled it into some notes and familiarized myself with how they sound, and with your feedback basically, and memorization and practice, got to the point where it becomes automatic to say them and mimic them. And that took a lot of time and a lot of mimicry, and that's just kind of burning your mouth out each day. It's kind of like doing push-ups until failure. You have to do that each day to build up the capacity. And then I did it with the syllables, and then ultimately sentences, which got me to that point now.
Sure. Yeah, and I'll say too, back to that discussion of like the introverted language learner and whatnot. I mentioned before, I've always been impressed by Mike's ability to just do what needs to be done. And my talents in language learning come from having a more intuitive understanding of what the patterns are and being able to go in there and talk to people and get into the vibe. Mike's, he's able to sit down and do the work. So that's my biggest weakness in language learning. I'll get to a point where I have to do more work and I'm like, and I'll try to just kind of go around it, but I can't. I gave Mike the things he had to do for this Italian mission, and man, he just banged it out, and the results are showing. In this blog post, you'll see more step-by-step what Mike did and what he was able to accomplish in this 1 week of training. That being said, Mike, can you tell us what were some of the more frustrating aspects of the learning process, or what you did in the past week?
Oh man, well, I guess some of the frustration comes from trying to do the same sound that you think you already know over and over, and then you're still getting it wrong. So I was still practicing the same. He's like, okay, so lower your tongue here for this. I was like, all right, and now it sounds great. But then in the next lesson, I did it again. So it's just a bad habit that I have from English. And knowing my bad habits was the great thing about doing this, but at the same time, it's not like a one-time thing. I have to continually like work at knowing these habits and like consciously trying to do them until that becomes automatic. So that was like a frustrating thing.
For sure, yeah. So that's one of the common frustrations people have when they do MimicMethod. And the way it works is you just gotta keep doing it. And then one day you sleep on it, your brain makes the connections, and you wake up and you're doing it right. So you're already experiencing that. You've seen that from the learning the song, for example. Yeah. So a final question for you then is, what do you most enjoy about the process? What parts did you get into flow and like really start digging this whole thing?
Oh man, so honestly it was the music part. That was really cool. I don't know what it was. It was kind of, maybe it was the fact that I was mimicking like to a beat that kind of made you feel like you're doing it, and it's a lot more fun than me just like trying to read it and be like la prima volta, la prima volta. But this was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the musical aspect of it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Great. Well, so to end this video off, I'm going to talk to you guys a bit. Let's take a little walk, show how cool this area is. Talk to you guys a bit about what Mike's going to do now. So we have a couple more things he needs to do in the capacity stage to review. There's 3 parts to learning a foreign language by ear. Stage 1, capacity. Stage 2, conversation. Stage 3, command. Capacity is about developing Mike's ability to hear the sounds of Italian and then pronounce the sounds of Italian. And right now he's gone pretty far already. Still has some work to do. We're gonna focus on learning Italian intonation, so you can speak Italian intonation. And then we're gonna do normal kind of mimicking sentences. Our goal essentially in capacity is to get Mike to a stage where he can hear a sentence of about 8 syllables or so, and without seeing anything written down, and without having to have lots of repetitions, lots of tries, and without knowing what it means, Mike can mimic it with a near perfect accent, the same way an Italian person would. So looking forward to the update. Good job, Mike. Keep it up. Any final words you want to give to our audience?
As the great Idahosa says, keep on flowing.
Keep on
everyone.
flowing. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy some more scenes in this beautiful park that Mike and I are enjoying. La prima volta. Keep singing it. Sing it as the background.
La prima volta che sono morto. That's it.
Italiano. Michelangelo, professionali.